This video is intended to provide insight regarding the use of screen magnification with hover accessible content and click accessible content. We are on the Loudoun County Public Schools home website, and I will be using a screen magnification tool from the Lenovo ThinkPad, the same device that is distributed to most instructional staff in Loudoun County Public Schools. So I go to find my magnification tool, and I automatically get a 200% default magnified content. You can see how my magnifier window works. As I scroll, as I move my cursor, that follows. Everything in that window is magnified. What we're finding here is this is hover accessible content. What that means is when I move my cursor over it, additional information is displayed. And in this case, it's displayed in kind of a pull-down menu. So I hover over this, discover LCPS, information is available to me. One of the interesting things about this hover accessible material is that when I move my cursor off of it, all of this information remains constant. It remains available to me. That is a big plus when we're working with screen magnification tools. I can also click on Discover LCPS, and that takes me to another part of the website. In this case, I stay in the same browser. And then I have access to other content. So this would be this being Discover LCPS. That would be an option that is hover accessible and also click accessible. Now, if I go to where I selected I want to go and I choose something over here and I choose this departments, I have to click on that in order to have access to the information on this part of the web page. So that would have been something that is considered click accessible, not hover accessible. You can see how easily click accessible information works with a screen magnification. I need to click on it, and that is the same way that all people access this information. So I have to click on it, and then it goes to the information that I can choose to magnify. Now we're going to take a quick look at a different page. First, I'm going to get out of this screen magnification so that we can take a look here clearly. This is a Wikipedia page about the United States of America. And you can see there are a lot of blue highlighted words indicating that there is more information to be seen. We're going to go down here to Washington, D.C. I'm going to hover over that. And you see that more information is displayed in a pop-up window. And then when I hover off of that, I can come straight down, and that remains available to me, and I can anywhere. Now, if I move my cursor off of that, then it goes to something else. But as long as I have my cursor on that, you see how easily that works. Now we're going to try that with screen magnifier. I'm headed down to Washington, D.C. Now, one of the issues here, which could be problematic for someone who uses this screen magnifier, is I have my cursor over the word Washington, D.C., and then within that window, I need things to be in that window to be able to see them clearly. That's why I'm using this. But when I move my cursor down to see the information displayed in the pop-up window, in this case, I'm losing that, and I'm not able to actually see what's below that. So I'm going to try to play with it here and get it to work a little bit. So it looks like when I came straight down from the middle of the word, then that remained constant. I can scroll through there and get all that information. Let's go back up and try it again. So it looks like this is a little bit temperamental. So when I am moving just a bit off of that word, Washington, D.C., and if I pause at all, I'm losing that content. Let's see if I move quicker. Okay, if I moved a little bit quicker, it stayed there. This is obviously not as compatible, I would say. Doesn't work quite as well as only clickable content. Now I can click on this and get the information that is intended to be displayed, but it takes me away from that original page, which, depending on what I'm trying to do, might not be the best option. I would say that if this were the only resource that was provided to a student that was using screen magnification, then this could cause some problems for access. My recommendation would probably be to not to throw this resource out, but to also provide other flexible options for students to use that maybe had more clickable content and less hover accessible content. Some websites can be customized to either include hover accessibility or not. Sorry, Wikipedia. So not to discredit Wikipedia by any means, I want to mention this one tidbit of information. Their hover accessible content can be customized. So there's little settings or a gear icon. If I click on that, I have an option to change my page preview. So I can deselect that and hit save and done. Now, when I hover over that same word, I don't get that pop-up window, and it is required that I select it by clicking so that I can see that information. If you ever want to then turn that back on, you can go all the way to the bottom of the page on the far right and click on Edit Preview Settings, and you can select Page Previews, hit Save, going all the way back up, and now you can see that it is now back in action. So that could be good or bad depending on the student that's using it and what content you want to represent and how you would like that to be represented.